My wife cheated on me. I 25 spent most of yesterday trying to sort out my thoughts and feelings while my 23 wife was asleep. She works graveyards and cheated on me with a police officer she works with. When we started our talk yesterday, she said she still doesn't think she did anything wrong and claims that she wasn't active in the inappropriate touching or kissing. It's like she planned on how to get this guy to feel her up and still have some deniability. I brought up contacting this guy's wife and telling her what happened, and she won't stop saying it's none of our business. I asked her who she thinks the US is in that because it's my business, and I don't think she should have to stay in a relationship with a guy who does that stuff behind her back. I work a part-time job right now as a first responder in the same city this guy is a cop in. I'm worried because I'm not the kind of person who would see him walk by while working an event and just say nothing. It's not who I am, and I owe myself at least a good solid giving him a piece of my mind. It seems like she feels bad for all the wrong reasons. In fact, when I dropped our son off at my parents' office, I ran into my MIL, her daughter was receiving care from my dad, and told her what happened because I was visibly distraught and crying. That was the day I found out. When I told my wife where our son was so we could have the talk about how she cheated on me and I found out, the first words out of her mouth were, "Did you tell my mom?" My wife is upset because our son is really distant with her and super close with me. I'm a full-time parent and she has spent the last 3 months emotionally distancing herself from us. I thought she was going through a tough time. And she might be, but now I think it was so she could cheat on me and not feel guilty. In fact, the last 2 arguments we have had were about seemingly insignificant stuff that I had already apologized for that she would then bring back up and blow out of proportion. Like cleaning. I don't clean enough. I do clean, but I also am a full-time parent to a whirlwind of a 2-year-old. I can clean in the morning and by noon it looks just as dirty. One time she drove us to the store, parked, and I asked her to park in a different spot because our son was getting sunlight in his face. She just threw her arms up in the air and started to drive us home. We went there because she wanted to get ice cream on a hot day. She would also go to this bastard cop for emotional support after we argued about all these little things. Only through text, but she let me read through them and it seemed like she was always making me out to be the bad guy after these fights. I rarely get angry, when I do it's just raised voice and more animated gestures. I don't hit people when I'm mad, and I don't throw things. She's making me feel crazy, and it doesn't seem like she feels bad about what happened. She held this guy's hand while he kissed her all over and he put his hand under her shirt. Every time she says she was the passive party, I get more upset. She wrote in her diary that she wants this guy, and reading through her texts, he was the one to shut it down. Between her texts and her diary entries, I fully believe she would have had sex with him if she had been able to get him alone. We scheduled counseling, but we're also going to the bank today to sign her off of my checking account. I also have a consultation with a lawyer next week. I'll post the original account of events in the comments. Wife cheated on me and I'm not sure if the relationship is worth saving. I 30 recently found out that my wife 27 of 4 years had been cheating on me and I'm still figuring out whether it is worth trying to pick up the pieces or not. Long story short, I decided to take a look at her messages and found that she was having sexual conversations with other men. I also found out that she had met with one of the men at his place and had sex with him. As much as I hate her right now, I still have feelings for her and we have a wonderful 3-year-old son together. I'm afraid that I won't be able to get past the reoccurring thoughts and the huge mistrust that I have towards her right now. I've been told by my counselor that some marriages can come back stronger than ever after something like this, but I just can't see it. For any of you who decided to stick it out with your significant other, what did that road look like for you? What can I expect if I do try and work this out with her? TLDR. What can expect if I choose to try and save my marriage after experiencing infidelity? Update. Wife agreed to move out and I have been by myself for the last couple of weeks. Since then, it has been back and forth between lies and sentiment from her. She swears that she loves me and that she would do anything to fix our marriage. Less than a week ago she heard that I had went out with my friends and there were other women around, and she tried to convince me that she didn't actually have sex with the other guy. This was the first time that she had denied it since she originally admitted to it. She has zero consistency in what she says. One day she sounds genuinely sorry for what she did and the next day she is getting angry with me or trying to tell me what I did wrong. She has also tried telling me that she won't let me see my son until there is a court order if we get a divorce. We are currently separated and I am trying to get all of my stuff in order to prepare for the future. Is it normal for someone to go back and forth like this? I understand that this is a rough situation for both of us, and I don't want to make the wrong decision. My gut tells me to leave her and focus on my future self, but there's also a part of me that wonders if I will regret not trying to work on my marriage. This is probably one of, if not the worst, situation I've ever had to deal with in my entire life. Subscribe to my channel.